Hi, I'm Kieran Harris at Feel Good Golf Academy, and today we're going to give you one very simple trick that you can use for the rest of your life to hit the ball really well out of the rough. Now have a look at this 5-iron of mine here, and if you notice, you can see where the blades of grass are, where that little ball mark is, and it's on the top part of the toe. In other words, not close to the sweet spot. That's a pretty bad part of the face. Ball comes out very dead. But that's a very, very typical strike point for a lot of us when we hit out of the rough. There's a simple reason for that, and usually that's because the ball, when it sits in the rough, isn't usually sitting flat on the surface of the ground, flat on the earth like it would on the fairway. It's usually sitting up a little bit, and so if we sort of address the ball normally like we would in a fairway with the club at full length, well, all of a sudden the ball isn't really, sitting close to the sweet spot anymore. Now it might be sitting a little closer to the top of the face because of how it's sitting in the rough. Now, every rough lie is different. So you have to assess those lies a little bit better. But tip number one here, trick number one is when you're in the rough, we're going to try to actually thin those shots. And here's what I mean by that. We actually don't want to try to feel like we're going to hit the sweet spot. We want to feel like we're going to try to hit that bottom edge. And you might actually thin it. And thinning it is better than fatting it out of the rough. Thin to win, as they say. The ball sort of travels. And how are we going to do that? Very simple. Just choke up, make the club shorter, and that way your arms can hang at full length, and the club will be addressing the ball and not addressing the ground where it might hit, again, under the ball, and we might get this high toe strike that clanks and goes nowhere, and now we've got another 150 yards to get to the green. Now, I want you to come and look at these two golf balls I have right over here, okay? Two balls, both 6 inches apart from each other, both completely different lies. And you can even see from above here, which isn't the best angle right away, but this ball right here, this is a little bit of a better lie, I would call it. You can see a lot more of that golf ball, right? As you get a little closer to the other one, you can see, well, there's quite a bit more grass behind that one. And in fact, this is really the angle where we start to see it right here, is how much more buried that ball is on the right versus the one on the left. In fact, the one on the left, we could probably hit anything we want out of that lie. You could hit a 3-wood out of that lie because there's nothing behind the back of the ball. There's no resistance between the club and the ball. The club will get on it very cleanly and the ball will come out very, very well. The one that's on the right, we got to be a bit more cautious about. All right, so why don't we hit these? And I'm going to use that cool camera feature I keep seeing on Instagram where the guys put the camera down low and you can actually see the ball flight. I've never tried it before. Maybe it'll work. All right, let's see if this works. It did not work. So for both of those shots, we still want to observe that same technique of, okay, let's choke up. Even the one that's a really clean lie that's sitting up, well, it's probably sitting about this high off the ground, right? So we want to make sure we address the ball, we don't address the ground. Okay, that's sort of the slogan here for the rest of your life in the rough. Address the ball, never address the ground. This is the same. I mean, I'm doing this right now with a long iron, but you can do this with a sand wedge, with whatever rough lie you have. Make sure that club's not sitting directly on the ground, or that's where we get the high toe clanks and the fluffs underneath and all that stuff. So we're going to choke up for the tougher rough lie as well. We're just going to make sure, hey, that one comes out. Maybe I might grip it a little bit tighter for that second one. And our expectations are just going to be a little bit lower for the second one as well. It's like, hey, there's quite a bit of material behind the ball that's going to slow the club down. It's going to take out some of that great impact and that energy transfer. So, that's where, if you can, you might take more club. Just to make sure that reduction in ball speed, ball coming out of the rough, can sort of be countered by, taking a longer club. Anyways, that's it for today. Oh man, it's almost June and I hope it warms up here in Toronto. This is crazy. Go thin it out of the rough, okay? It's super simple. Go have fun with it. We'll talk to you soon.